farmhouse of all time. I wouldn't mix it up like that.
Speaking of, I don't know if Steven showed you, I sent a really cool picture from 1951, which somebody took outside of DiLisio's.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime I say your guys' name, that particular image comes to mind. And I've never actually had one. It was always painted by my mom.
Yeah.
My mom would talk about DiLisio's. And then so I was just painting. And then so when I saw this picture online, I thought that was super tight.
I think you've sent it to me before.
Not that one. That was the first time
I've definitely seen that picture before. We might have the picture. I didn't know that it was the grand opening picture, though. That's what the article you sent said, that it was the grand opening.
It was the grand opening of Raton Pass over to the theater.
Oh, yeah. The El Raton.
Yeah.
Now owned by the guy who owns Sexy Pizza here in town.
All right, so this
Keep answering as I
Saison DuPont, is this paint?
Paint? No, not quite. Not quite. It's an old school beer, though. They've been making this beer for, I don't know, probably 150 years. Probably more than that, actually. Do they have a date on this? Of when they...
No. It just says classic style brewed at one of Europe's last farmhouse breweries. Product of Belgium. Wild. Belgium's far away.
It is. They got great beer there. And like a Saison, really delicate beer. It's kind of not champagne-y.
They don't have no good cans.
Well, this is the first time I've ever had this beer in a can.
This shit just cracked on me. It didn't even... I had to grab it from a different place. Man,
Yeah.
I got a faulty can. Who made these, Ball?
Probably, I don't know. But I've never even seen it in a can until like this year. Before, it's always like a bottle format, big one singular bottle. And then they started doing 4-packs of cans of it. And it's awesome beer. I love it. It's, like I said, top 5 beers of all time for me. I think it's so delicious. And I'm curious to know how you think it tastes.
This is top 5 for you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
See, my brother and my dad both are in the auto industry, the collision. You know what I mean?
Bodywork.
Industry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about running teams that do these types of repairs. And the paint that they always used is DuPont.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? That's like one of them, at least back in the day. I don't know if my brother does now. They maybe got something else. But Pops back in the day, they had like, I would go to their paint booth. My dad would give me little jars of like touch-up paint to use paint on stuff. And that was always a DuPont. So that's the first thing that my mind thinks about when it like sees this word DuPont. And then it's wild because I could like close my eyes and that's what I would imagine that paint would taste like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got some like fennels and different flavors going on from the farmhouse. You know, classic for these type of beers.
It tastes like a chemistry set.
DuPont is a chemical company. That's why they call it Saison DuPont.
Yeah, it's got to be. What does DuPont mean, Eric?
It's a family name.
DuPont previously devised as DuPont, or DuPont. Of the bridge.
Of the bridge. Would you look at that? Suspension.
Hold on, we gotta find the real one. Slang.
Yeah, look up DuPont. Oh, DuPont slang in Urban Dictionary.
The company started in Delaware by a French dude named DuPont. What a surprise. That's stupid.
Yep. Chemicals and shit.
My dad was laid off by DuPont Pharmaceutical when Bristol brought it up.
Yeah. So is DuPont Terps part of the same family?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
But I don't know. It could be
definitely-
the same people.
This definitely ain't on my top 5, but it's cool.
What are your top 5 beers?
Top 5 beers right now off the top of my head in no particular order. Okay?
Okay, that's fair.
Whatever's available, I guess. I guess I'm not that picky when it comes to beer.
Hi-ho, Silver!
outside the debate. If we want to start with the debate, the mass debate, if we want to start with the mass debate.
Well, we are the mass debaters.
Oh, you had to slip that in, like I said.
We already renamed it. It's going to be the mass debaters on everything else.
Oh, yeah. There it is. There it is, up there already in the title.
Yeah, I fucked up the first time. I should have just done it right the first time. You know, sometimes a good idea needs to grow a little bit, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I liked about the last good idea.
I don't think that it was obvious enough. You know what I'm saying?
This is as obvious as tromboner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how obvious I want it.
Yeah. That's what got you to realize. That's what you're like, oh, yeah, this needs to go down closer to the boner route, the tromboner route.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't what I was just talking about. Things I wanted to talk about was not mass.
So you have a breaking news?
Breaking news. Pretty breaking.
Uh-huh.
A little news story that I came across on my Facebook feed from I believe, councilwoman at large, shared by a friend of the show.
Who?
Ivan Salazar.
Oh, yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah.
That ain't a friend of the show. It's a friend of mine.
Yeah. Friend of yours. But the councilwoman at large, I did not screenshot her name, posted to the people of Aurora.
I saw that.
You saw that? Should I read the rest of it?
I mean...
It's kind of long.
Yeah, nah, fuck it.
I need to know the severity and the flat-out truth about what is going on in Aurora. The media won't make it a big deal about it and will try to downplay it. Some of my own colleagues would probably even tell you there is nothing to see here. Last night, from roughly 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., the devil's hours. Sorry, that was SIC. I think is what those little brackets are called. Where was I here? Last night, from roughly 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., the city of Aurora was taken over at the intersection of Mississippi and Havana. Not far from here. You will see the Venezuelan flags are flying. The shopping centers were invaded and cars trapped in. The streets were shut down. There are reports of assaults, theft, and gunshots in the air. I have not heard of any reported deaths. I am told that these folks were celebrating the loss of the current Venezuelan leader. Thousands of these folks took over and completely shut down part of our city. The police were totally overrun and were forced to get out of the area for their safety. A police car was shot up. This in the United States of America. This is your city. Please spread the word. This November election may, in fact, be the actual most important of your lives, your children's lives, and your grandchildren's lives. Again, you all deserve the truth. I've included multiple photos and emails, and that's where I ended the screenshot. I didn't want to have to go find the post.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought that's what I woke up to the other day.
Oh, yeah.
After a very interesting conversation at my barbershop of hearing like two Mexican dudes really rag on some Venezuelans.
Hell yeah.
And being like, oh, a little uncomfortable here. They're really talking a lot of shit.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of go back to your own country from Mexicans, and I'm like, dude, we have the same amount of papers. The fuck do you mean?
What do you mean, same amount of papers?
Zero papers.
Ah, gotcha. Loud and clear, 10-4, buddy. But holy buckets, the next morning I like wake up and see that, and I'm like, damn, that's not far from here. I go there once a week, that intersection, all the time. It's fucking great. Target, all kinds of shit down there. It's like you can have every errand you need in a weekend right there in that fucking intersection. It's
Applebee's.
Awesome. Fucking Applebee's, Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, Wendy's, Chipotle, Wingstop. Fucking, it's got everything over there. It's awesome. Dick's Sporting Goods, fucking cheap clothes stores, Target, makeup store.
So
like,
what do you make of her? What do you make of her dire
warning or announcement or some kind of combination of the two she put there?
You know, it originally just kind of made me curious. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it didn't seem really clear what. There was not a lot of depth in that, like, charge. There was a lot of emotion and, like, fear, it seemed like, in that post. And,
Yeah.
And, you know, it made me be like, well, should I know about this? Am I missing something here? Like, what's going on in my city? Like, that's right there. That's 10 minutes away.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's right there. So it's like, but then, because I didn't even see the person's name. I saw Ivan share it, and I just read it because I was like, Aurora's in the title. So I'm like, well, probably should see what's going on here. Then I go back up and I see like council person, whatever. I don't know their name. I didn't even click on their name. Didn't really need to after like the rant. Kind of knew what I'd be getting into a little bit. So I was just like, it's an interesting way to like talk about what these pictures are depicting. You know?
Sure.
Because there are a whole slew of pictures. If Eric can find them, I'm sure you can pull them up and show everybody what the pictures look like over there. Because, you know, I immediately put myself there being like, well, dang, what if I was over at Target that day? Because at first I looked at the pictures. I'm like, I don't know that building. I don't know that building. What is she talking about? This is my city. Who's this lady? But then you see the Target and it's real clear where they're at. Because they're at like some place where it's not like a big business like a lot of the big chains over there. There's fucking Lowe's. There's a King Supers. There's everything at that fucking intersection. That little South Havana Drive. I think it's the drive. Yeah, there's some of the pictures.
Yeah. I find it interesting that, actually, it's not interesting. It should, I guess. Maybe
Interesting to you?
It is interesting, but it's not interesting in that sarcastic way when people say, oh, I find it interesting. That's not what I mean. I mean, I'd really actually find it interesting how 9 News just covered the exact same story. And so what do you take then as far as minus her obvious emotional connection to this particular event or subject that this event represents, taking in just what she said as fact. What are your thoughts on that? So imagine you're not Steven, who lives in this area and pays attention to social dynamics in a way. Imagine you're a naive person walking down the street and it's the first time you ever heard this and you read this thing, so you take it all in as absolute fact. How would, if you're in that position, how do you see your feelings?
Blood pressure's up, right? It's rising. Like fear is like, this is a place that most people around here go often, right? It looks way different than any place I've ever gone to in the same title in Lakewood, right? The demographic of people that are out there, because Aurora is so much different than Lakewood. So if I put myself in like one of their shoes, just anybody seeing this stuff put up by somebody in a like position of like,
yeah, that's important too.
Publication,
Yeah.
right? Like seeing somebody with the name councilwoman at the end of it being like, oh, you must be pretty important, pretty informed. You're looking out for me, telling me this shit. And what you're telling me is that these people celebrating something, these Venezuelans, are trouble. Showing me a lot of trouble in here.
I mean, she claims there was a cop car was shot up. Is that true?
I've not seen any.
She claimed multiple shootings reported. I mean, that's all public.
Not a cop car being shot up. I don't think the shots were confirmed by the police, but the police themselves, I believe, reported that the shots were fired into the air, and there were no like bullets being fired at anyone.
Yeah.
That was the last I heard about any kind of gun related pieces to the story was that, but that was earlier this morning. I haven't seen any kind of updates, because maybe not earlier this morning, or maybe earlier 2 days ago. I don't know. I haven't seen anything else since then.
Sure.
Police say that the crowd was rowdy but wildly unruly, but not wildly unruly.
You know, some could say maybe unruly, but wildly unruly? No. What kind of description is that, Aurora PD?
Police did not leave and were there for the entire event, Aurora spokesperson Ryan Luby said in the statement.
So then, and then again, like so here's another weird thing that happens is because it's wild, right? Because it's like if you were to say something that the people who are immediately triggered by this particular post, right?
Triggered's a good word.
And they're triggered. They're just triggered by oh my God.
That seemed like a triggering post. Like I read it as like, I felt like I was being triggered, right? Like,
so folks
my
that
family's there and all this stuff. And I'm like, what's going on?
So the folks triggered by this particular post probably would not even consider a post of the opposite nature of the same event. So if there was a post.
I do have what I believe the Aurora mayor or Denver mayor said about this.
All right, so hold on. But what I'm saying, though, is that imagine that there's a different representative that goes on and says, what a beautiful event of gathering of Venezuelans. Nothing.
Well, can I read the senator's words?
No, hold on real quick. Hold that thought. Because I'm saying.
Did you not read them?
No, I didn't read them. Go for it.
Well, I think they might.
I'm just going to lose my train of thought, but go for it. Hopefully they keep me on.
All right. I think they will.
Okay.
I applaud the Venezuelan people who have sought to restore the rule of law and democracy. The Venezuelan National Electoral Council must swiftly release detailed results so that the Venezuelans at home and abroad can have confidence in the outcome.
Who said that?
Senator Michael Bennett.
No, Michael Bennett said that? Well, so and so I guess that's the thing is that they wouldn't hear that without doubt, right? So if you were to the people triggered by this initial post, if they never saw that post and they saw this one instead, they would be doubtful of it. Right?
I mean, I think I pulled this quote from an article that I literally just Googled, like Aurora Venezuelans.
I know, but what I'm saying,
and this is what came up.
Well, but the overall point then is that now the police can come out and tell them this is some of these things are verifiably untrue, and it's like the people who are already triggered by that could hear that and then turn around and say, but at least this, like they'll still stand on it. And I know that immediately the thought is a thought of racism. What would be the justification if not racism for that kind of feeling of sentiment towards another country's people in your parking lot?
And wait a minute. Are you asking me or are you asking me as the average Auroran?
Whichever you decide.
I mean, if you're asking me, there isn't.
Okay.
If you're asking your everyday Auroran, they're trying to take our jobs. Like, jobs are hard to find around here. Like, in terms of how people can transport around here, in terms of like just the infrastructure of what jobs are available in Aurora, where a lot of the jobs out here belong in the healthcare and military industries, right? They live in certain areas, and you can tell we're not in one of those rural areas. We're kind of close to one where people have found that, being 15 minutes from the hospital isn't too bad over here. Yeah. We're down the street from Anschutz, which is, the biggest employer, one of the biggest employers in Aurora, next to the fucking Space Force. I think they're number one in Aurora employment out at Buckley. But for people who aren't qualified for those jobs, it's pretty hard to find work here. Not super hard, but there's just not a lot of stuff here. You got to travel.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't have transportation, that makes it harder. Right. So I think a lot of people who might read something like this, who might be in one of those situations where work doesn't seem that easy to get. Work doesn't seem like what it seems like on the TV when you're trying to find a job, or when you work at fucking Wendy's. And it's like, yeah, I make $17.50 an hour, but like fucking rent's $2,100 for a 2-bedroom. right? Try to raise a family. You throw in all the other things that could be happening. I can imagine that they could give themselves reasons of, that are based in this fear that it's meant to like drudge up of, I might not have as good an opportunity if all these people are here in one way or another. An opportunity for me to grow, for my family to grow, an opportunity for safety that I expect from my city.
Sure.
And you can kind of put that veil over the racism, right, in a lot of people's minds. But I think it is just a veil.
What makes you feel like feeling a threat to like their actual feeling of safety only can come from racism when it comes to this particular topic?
I don't think it can only come from.
Well, but I mean, that's what you're saying. If you think of it's just a veil to have that thought.
But I think in this situation, it is like that. If you're, well, maybe not.
Well, because I mean, I've been having a hard time, fitting the Venezuelan events in Denver, as far as just overall, into my brain in a specific place, because when I pulled up to the corner of Federal and Alameda, which apparently they say is the most dangerous corner in.
I bet
really?
Sheridan and Colfax would give it a run for its money. Fucking A.
Yeah, fools get shot a lot on Alameda and Federal though. In any case, when I stopped there and 9, oh man, poor thing, when 9 Venezuelan dudes run up on the cars at the stoplight, washing cars, I'm way more on the team of like, you can't get a work visa. They've manipulated and fucked up all the processes to make it easy to get a quick work visa, and in that time you're an able-bodied dude, you're just out here grinding, doing something, doing anything for to make money, because we need money to live. Like, to me, that's as American of a value as you can have, right? Like, you work, you pay, you get money, you pay for your stuff. Now, outside of that, you can argue that it's outside of the taxes, and it's and it's a burden on taxpayers because of that. And sure, it is, but it's not their fault, right? They're just here. They're
American dream,
doing what they can until that thing goes through, right? Until they can get work visas, until something happens in that sense. And so I understand on a human level. I'm like, these dudes they're just dudes trying to make it, trying to do something, trying to, you don't come out here and do stuff like that unless you're.
So hold the phone real quick. I just need to clarify something, because I'm with you on this. I know exactly what you're talking about, but you're telling me all them folks are Venezuelan?
I'm telling you, and on Alameda and Federal right now, absolutely. And
well, I see this stuff all over the city. I drive all over, and I see.
I was blazing one time, and I gave these dudes this wild ass fucking resin joint that I had. Ooh. And I had like half of it, and a homeboy asked for a hit, and I was like, "Here, y'all can have it." And they all passed it around, and I was like, "Man, I wish I could stick around for a few minutes to watch these dudes be all blazed out of their mind." Oh man, this fun stuff.
That little like squeegee.
Yeah, no, but so like I'm both there, and then I also have the conflicting feeling of like how that makes me feel when I'm not there. But it's my girlfriend Jen, for instance, 'cause she works down at Denver Health Services, whatever the things over there in the hood, and the whole, she has to drive through that same area, and now that makes me feel uncomfortable, right? Like I get that that they're all just doing their thing, but I also don't know those dudes, and any group of dudes like that rushing on my lady's car makes me feel uncomfortable immediately, right? And so I'm on both teams, and I see in that sense right there, right, where I've been conflicted on where to put this in. So then when I see, you know, this thing like a celebration in the Target parking lot, and it's like, okay, like none of that bothers me at all. If anything, I encourage that there's an opportunity to do so. And to be honest, I'm sure if they with you know, the idea that these folks would do this exact same thing in the exact same way if they were all on work visas and had like the, you know, like they wouldn't go through the proper, you know, like even filings of like some kind of
now they got a safety vest on, you know? And you're like, oh, it's safe now.
Yeah. Well, and so it's like it's the same thing, right? So these people just they're not in, they're first, they're new. Second of all, they're not harming anybody. At the same time, if my mom had to go to Target that day and then she couldn't leave the parking lot, and she called me and she's like, there's like 1,000 people out here. Hundreds of people are all out, and I don't know what to do. Like, I'm kind of stuck in my car, right? And I tell you, racially, my mom does not give a fuck. Like, that's not what it would be at all. It's a group of any fucking 100,000, you know, hundreds of people, 1,000 people, 500 people, 50 people, all around in one little area like that, and had her blocked in a parking lot. Now I feel a different feeling of like, now it feels less safe. When it's me, I feel fine. I know that women in particular have different experiences when it comes to people, groups of men, and the whole thing, you know? And so regardless of nationality, that makes me feel uncomfortable. And then I don't know where to be, right? Because I'm like, okay, I both support that thing, and there's that piece of me that's like, man, I wish they would do it at a park, right? Like, not in that area, but at the same time, I realize culturally though, it probably doesn't make as much of a difference. They haven't assimilated to the culture, and I think the part of your freedom of speech and your freedom to be is to not necessarily assimilate entirely into a culture. It's to assimilate the laws. You should follow the laws while you're here. These are the laws that we have, and this is what we all agree upon. Otherwise, if you don't want to speak English, that's your right as an American to not, or in America, to not speak English. I think that's part of it, right? I think in, you know, putting people through these. So it's like I'm on like this. What do I feel? Because I saw the same post and I felt the same way. I'm like, this chick is just going off and trying to, she might even believe it, but she's writing this from a perspective of definitely trying to rile up the troops in her own sense. And I don't think it's real. At the same time, I can see how somebody might fall that way through their own, by empathizing with that feeling of mine where I'm like, oh, I don't know how I'd feel about that if my mom was there, or if Jen was there, or, you know, if your mom was, you know, like, I don't know. Erick's sister, like, I don't, it just none of like, especially with like just women on their own, that bothers me, right? And so, I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, let me offer this, because I definitely hear you, making me think a little bit about, you know, this did happen to my family, happen to myself if I was there, you know, because you definitely seem like you would be comfortable if you were there.
Yeah, that wouldn't bother me at all.
Because you'd probably kick it in your car, see if you got any weed, and then
I mean, I wouldn't mind getting out of my car and asking these dudes politely to leave. And
could y'all help me leave?
Just because they're Venezuelan doesn't mean they're not people. Just like any other people, there might be a couple that are kind of weird and acting funny, and then there's gonna be a way larger group of people that are like, yeah, let these fucking people go.
They
like,
might not speak English well, and they were like, where should we meet? And they're like, go to Target. Go to the big circle with the red circles. Yeah. Like, the Target, like, it's got a Target on it. Go there.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just the easy way to meet up. But what I wanted to say is the situation that you're depicting seems a lot like a situation I think we're all in all the time, especially if you live in Denver and never been to the fucking Mission Ballroom and chose to drive down there.
Yep.
Fucking tons of people, shady people.
True.
and those are really shady people because they're like drunk or high on things that like are unpredictably like their actions are unpredictable. That's what I mean by shady.
And those types of people tend to gravitate towards that type of event specifically because trying to get
and
more
have
money.
I ever sat in my fucking car for 45 minutes listening to music after one of those shows so I did not have to fucking navigate the traffic out of that fucking area as well, where you can just wait and hang out or spend that time like
so that's true,
but do you hear the point that I'm trying to make? Is that the expectation of having to leave and not being able to that's about the only difference I see in those situations. My mom calls me and she tells me that and I'll be like, Mom, are you safe?
The difference between, well, that's true too, but the difference is that at the Mission Ballroom you go into that understanding
that's what I mean, expectation,
right? I mean, when you're going to when we go to Target, we're not necessarily expected that. And in any case, again, I am of the few Americans left who care about actual freedom of speech, and I know the right has like adopted that as their trope.
War cry.
But none of them are really about it. All of y'all are about censoring speech on the left and the right, whether extreme or not. There's centrists that are like this, and I don't like none of it. I am under I am a firm like, hey, there were a few things that the quote unquote founding fathers, right? These guys that
they got lucky on.
No, you know what it is you put a bunch of brains together to try to come up with really good ideas.
That's not how that happened, but
you're going to get a few good ideas.
There was one brain that wrote like 95% of that document.
That's true. But I'll tell you that he didn't
sign this, bitches.
Even his knowledge of it didn't come from himself, right? That it comes from an accumulation of knowledge, which is literally the seeping of other people's brains into your own. So for whatever it's worth, when you try to come up with a bunch of good ideas, and you throw up 100 good ideas, there's gonna be 100 ideas. There's gonna be a few good ones, right? Some of the really good ones are freedom of speech.
Yeah,
and
not disagreeing with that.
And in that speech is literally it overflows into action before. As long as you're not breaking a law. And if the law itself is about the noise that comes out of the hole in the front of your face, but if that noise is in Spanish or if that noise is in Korean, it doesn't stop it from being, now that's no longer American. There's no such thing as an American language. We speak English, and it's what it is, right? Yeah. So I'm a big like they should be able to gather, and in gathering they're gathering because one of the big reasons I assume a lot of these people left Venezuela were because they were scared, and because they're trying to and so they're celebrating a new leadership that may lead their country in a way that they appreciate better, which I feel like we can all fucking understand and empathize with, right? So again, all of it aside, I'm only saying I still see how other people get misled, right? And they find themselves in these positions. I'm most annoyed that they won't hear me, right? Because it's like they'll hear what I said. I'm sure there's a bunch of people on the left right now that hear what I said and think, oh, this guy's turned into a Republican. He's a libertarian now, and the whole nonsense. And there's the people on the right are looking at me like, you fucking libtard, just stop talking, and it's like, I mean, somebody's got to stand for to speak freely in this motherfucker, and it's gonna be me.
Well, hell yeah. And I want to tell y'all, you got to stay tuned because we're about to start the mass debate, and after the debate, we're going to talk about what the Venezuelans were actually trying to get across in their gathering. Stay tuned for that after.
In the meantime,
this debate. We're about to get it on.
If you're watching right now, drop some comments. Let us know what the fuck we should be debating. You do not have to. You can be serious if you want to, but you don't have to be. We are going to take any and all questions for our debate. I may regret saying that later. But in the meantime, today's...
we will take all questions.
Today is July 31st, 2024.
Oh, yeah.
About 7:49 p.m. here in Mountain Standard Time, the undisclosed location. My name is Justin. To my left, your right, that's going to be Steven.
Hey, you guys can tell I'm fired up today. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Straight across from us, producing always Erick.
Oh, I like that. Is that new? Did you just get that?
Yeah.
Did you get that with your haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They'll never get to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, those poor bastards.
Hell yeah.
Before we get into the debate, we got
Eric
a little
looks
intro
like-
animation for everybody.
We got a what?
Eric looked like Richie Valens. And it's been the Lone Ranger versus Tonto in this motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know where it is. Y'all know where you at. We got this live debate from the mass debaters.
Oh, boy. That's
Know what I
hard.
mean?
That one's got legs, don't it? Oh, well, sorry, bud. You're not gonna.
What
you're
happened?
Not gonna,
Was that it?
John. I don't think that's
yeah,
gonna
it was
happen.
supposed to be a whole other thing. I don't know what it was.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Roberto. A Mexican just entered the chat. I'm not gonna make that joke, but you're late.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. And it's not racist because it's funny.
I didn't make that joke.
I don't know how you... Mexican, Venezuelan, these aren't racist anyways. But let's keep going.
Yeah, because I think we have some questions to start with that I think we have to start with. I think we should go in order of submission to start with, because tonight we're debating who's going to be the better. Well, we're not debating who's going to be the better. You are deciding who's going to be the better president of the
Hell
United
yeah.
States of the undisclosed locations. There have been multiple. There are multiple. And someone needs to run this shit, and it's going to be one of the two of us, and y'all get to decide that in tonight's Master Debaters. I didn't like saying it. I didn't. I tried it. I tried it for you, and I don't like it.
Because we didn't say master.
Yeah, I did.
It's just mass debaters.
You changed it to Master too?
No, you did.
Oh.
It's mass debaters.
Oh, so I just am out here. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I'm on fire tonight. We're going. We're
Cheers to being on fire tonight.
That's right.
Speaking of it, there's all kinds of wildfires in Colorado. So here's to all the firefighters out there, my dogs.
My dogs. But also, we were doing so good with the fires. There hadn't been nothing. There was like one outside of Pueblo. I've been waiting for him, looking at my radar. Like, where the fire's at? There's like one outside of Pueblo a week ago. Now there's 4.
Yeah.
In the last week.
One's pretty close.
One is, Deer Creek Canyon.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Loveland and Longmont aren't far. I know people evacuating. You know? Like, that's like still close enough to know folks.
That's just wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
AF.
Prayers up.
Prayers up for all the
Fucking
fires.
listen to that shit, and like really what we need to put the prayers up for is all of our future homeowners insurance, because fuck, the closer those fires get, and there's some nice homes over there in that Deer Creek Canyon, and this homeowners insurances are also already going nuts out there because of these fires, right? Because they have to like insure on that, because you got to do it. You have to. If you got a mortgage, you got to have homeowners insurance, and they know that. And those fires are expensive to replace a home that was like on the market for, $3.2 million, and then now it burns down. And holy buckets, does that put a dent in our pockets. They will still reap their profits in those insurance companies like they always do. You got to rely on that. But we will be paying for it as homeowners. Where you think the interest rates are high for your fucking mortgage payment, wait until if you try and move out west and you got 4 times the insurance cost that you do out here in an undisclosed location like we're in. Because ain't no fires happen around here like that. Yeah.
Knock on wood.
It does get pretty hot out here.
Real wood, old wood,
All right,
those
well,
chairs are. All right, so we're
let's
going to
start
run
this
this
up.
in usual debate fashion. So we're going to give you guys each a minute to have your opening remarks
Okay.
about anything that you choose to speak on. And then as I'll pull up the questions, we'll be answering them.
Sweet.
Get a little bit of comments in with chat. So if you guys have those coming in, let us know. And the first one to go is going to be Senor Guy Spencer. Your minute starts in 3, 2, go.
Just in geographic knowledge alone, I think I'm more qualified for this position. I'm an expert in maps, graphs, things like that. Just personally on the side, y'all don't know me that much like that, but I am. And it's these kind of skills, these kind of backgrounds with knowing how to lead, knowing how to take a group of people who really don't want to learn anything that you plan to teach them and then somehow trick them into learning it. That's the kind of leader I think you want of the undisclosed locations. How much time I got left? I gotta...
Wrong.
I gotta tell you that the other reason I need you all to understand that this podcast lives off of beer. That's the only thing that gets us out there. And that's what I bring to the table every time.
And that's time.
All right.
Justin, ready, set, flow.
My fellow podcast listeners, I stand before you today at the crossroads of the rest of your life. You could absolutely vote for a guy who rants about home insurance. You could care about beer. Here, we don't even drink beer. Check out Liquid Death. You know what I'm saying? We're water drinkers up in this piece. And that's what I think makes a good leader, is somebody who can lead you to the water. You know what I'm saying? See, this guy wants to get you inebriated. Wants to take advantage of you. He knows where you're at, all the maps, and he gonna come pick those pockets. But me, I'm gonna fill them with the element of life.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Pretty good.
Wrong.
Excellent speech. I think that speech is extremely excellent. I don't think it will help you win.
You'd be in jail.
By the end of this debate, one of us getting shot.
Fuck.
No,
now
my
with these
president.
headphones
No,
on,
my
bud. You're the only
president.
one with exposed ears, bud. You're the one out here not wearing protection like us.
Let me make sure I'm covered.
All right, so first question, we're going to be talking about music. I think that's a big part of what we talk about on the podcast and at these undisclosed locations. We're going to be specifically focusing on the XXL freshman list.
Hold on real quick. Is your mic on, bud?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
I see the orange light. With the new ciphers coming out, we are getting comments such as XXL will never be the same as after 2016. Don't know any of these people except for Big X the Plug and Mexican OT. In your opinions, how can we make hip hop great again?
Who goes first?
We'll go with Justin on this one.
How do we make hip hop great again? I'll tell you, first and foremost, for music to be good, you have to have a sense of being a human, right? And right now, with the social medias, our sense of being a human is directly connected to the connection itself, which makes everybody in the world following the same things, which means you no longer get the ideas that come from different brains. You're now one big think tank thinking through, and that's why all the music right now sounds the same. To make it better, cut off the internet.
Are we giving them a full minute, or are we doing
That's
this?
it. That's all I gotta say.
A little back and forth at the debate.
Cut off the internet and music gets fire again.
He's talking about music in general, folks, and the question was about hip hop, and I think it was phrased as, how do we make hip hop great again?
Wrong.
My partner over here might say, make a hat that says it, red hat in white text.
That's a great idea.
Make hip hop great again. But I disagree even with the premise of the question that hip hop needs to be made great. It is great right now. It is great right now. And if you're a hip hop fan, you know that. You know that it's great right now. There's cool stuff coming out. And if you're out there listening, just in the last fucking week, Denzel Curry, fucking Childish Gambino, Eminem, Tech Nine, maybe not in the last week, maybe 2 weeks, have all released albums, and they're fucking incredible. They're the incredible hip hop music that is coming out now. And if you're listening now and you're down with this, this is the kind of promise I'm bringing you for the music. is that we're still bringing the old school tracks. If you heard our man Erick's track on the playlist, Nitro Beams, I haven't stopped listening to it every day for like 2 weeks. I love that song, and I know you guys love it too. I know you love it. And if you haven't listened to it, you're gonna go out there and listen to it tonight. Nitro Beams by Lady Lux. Holy buckets for a fucking artist on Spotify with 7,000 streams on a song. That song bangs, and just let the playlist even go, because the one about Chuck Taylor's and the other one that's right after that in her main ones, so good. This is why you need a president of the undisclosed locations that is still listening to music that came from before and is coming out now.
Nah, fuck that. Cut the internet off, and all the music gets off the hook. Hip hop gets off the hook. You know what I'm saying? R&B comes back. No, I'm talking about R&B's gone now.
No,
R.I.P. R&B.
That's not true.
R.I.P. R&B.
That's not true.
Come on, dude. Ain't nobody dancing in the rain anymore. These dudes.
Have you seen the weather outside, my guy? There's fires everywhere. There ain't no rain to dance in.
These dudes. That's why, because ain't nobody doing no rain dances. Okay, not one rain dance has been done in the name of R&B in a decade. You know what I'm saying? Not one rain dance, and now we're like, oh, global warming. How about nobody's dancing in the rain anymore? You know what I'm saying? And the gods are like, well, dance.
But
what
also,
are you waiting for?
You have to understand that music could be a lot like Motown. Like, look at Motown. Is there Motown made anymore? There's the Temps, but there's never, ever going to be another Motown sound like it was from the places it came from at that time, how music was recorded.
For 50 years, dudes were dancing in the rain. All of a sudden, the internet took over. Rain dancing went away. Cut the internet off.
The Weeknd had a couple good albums.
Make hip-hop
That's R&B,
great again.
right? Are we making hip hop great again, Justin, or R&B? I thought we were talking about hip hop. Isn't that what you said to make great? Was hip hop, not R&B? Which one are we talking about?
You name one great hip hop album that does not sample an R&B song.
Name one great hip hop album that doesn't.
Name one.
Fuck. I was gonna hit you with one, then I realized like almost every song he fucking samples like the best ones. I'm like, it's fucking Sade. Fuck. God damn it. You know, but also, would you throw jazz in there? Would you throw in
jazz gets
some
off
of
the
these
hook.
some of these other things? That you're like, why isn't jazz like it was in 1930?
Yeah.
Like, brr, you
Imagine
can't
if it was
make that leap just for R&B, because they're included. There's all kinds of musics that are included regularly on great albums.
I was just giving R&B, but you're great. Keep on giving my idea more fuel here. You're right. Make jazz great
This
again.
is why I'm the leader of the music. This is why, because I'm the one who just took your idea to a whole new level. You just told me I did.
I don't think you took it to a whole new level. I think you just got longer time on this question.
The moderator, Eric is doing his best. Do not take out your failures of debate skills on our moderator. Eric, you're doing a great job tonight. Thank you. And I think it's time to maybe.
Hey, R.I.P. Chino XL. Shout out to Spoke with that comment. R.I.P. He died yesterday, I think. R.I.P.
Yeah, yesterday.
50 years old.
Ago.
50 years old. That's young, boy.
It's hard to see any legend go. You know.
Oh yeah, especially young though. That's especially like.
Is he young?
50 years old?
I mean.
I got 13 years
yes,
till
yeah,
then. That better be young.
I thought you meant for like young in hip hop.
I'm only 13 years away from that. That better not be old.
I was like, do I not know who this dude is? What do you mean he's young? I thought you were telling me he was like, fuck.
No. He's 50. All right, let's go with another question.
You guys were definitely wrong.
I think
because neither of you brought up the new Ice Spice album, so you guys are wrong. We have a question in from Luke Sky. Is there truly a powers that be, a person, a group of persons who are continually pulling the strings and causing the chaos we are experiencing in our daily news feeds? Are we too far gone in the way we experience the world, or do things like mindfulness, the renaissance of plant medicine, and nature-based practices potentially stand a chance to stem the tide against some of the disastrous outcomes we face? Steven, you have 2 minutes.
Well, I'll take the beginning of my time to thank Luke Sky for asking such a thoughtful question.
Y'all want a beer while we're doing this?
Yeah.
We'll fill them up.
I need a beer. What the fuck? I don't drink water. That's just some bullshit I tell the people.
Oh shit! Are we on commercial right now?
No. Oh, sorry. Mic drop.
Sorry. That was. I want to use the beginning of my time to thank Luke Sky for asking such a thoughtful question. And, brother, I think more of us need to participate in the practices of some of the mindfulness things that you say. And you don't even have to think about it that way. You can think about it as, your excuse to go get more Starbucks, if that's what makes you go to the Red Rocks yoga stairs thing that he does. But what I hear what you're saying. Pulling the strings, a group of people. Some say it's lizards. Some might think it's lizards.
Could be.
And I do think that there is a reason to think what you think.
20 seconds.
There's a reason to think what you think, and it's definitely valid, sir. And I wanna honor that. I want you to know that I'm here to support you. And I think my partner here is unlike that.
All right. To Dear My Favorite Yogi. Got that one from you, actually. Look here, Luke.
Is this a fucking Dan Savage column or something?
Look here, Luke. Here's the thing. There's definitely a powers that be. But I don't think it's a group of dudes who sit in a room together. I think it is the product of an economy that benefits and incentivizes greed. That you end up with a group of greedy people that all have the same agenda, and therefore become the powers that be, even if they don't necessarily know each other. But what I'll do as president of the undisclosed location is I will make yoga mandatory for all listeners. And
you can't do that. You can't.
I can.
You can't.
I absolutely can.
You can't do that.
As president of the undisclosed
There's
location,
no way.
I can
No.
absolutely do that.
There's no way. Yoga. I mean, even myself, I wouldn't practice yoga. I've
That's
tried.
because you can't stretch.
Oh no, I still practice
That's
a
because
very ancient
your long ass will
and
take an hour to stretch something.
well, I practice myself a very
Look how
ancient
long
and
look how long your legs
traditional-
are. It'll take you an hour to reach your toes.
That's exactly why yoga isn't for everyone, but there may be an exercise that works for you because me, myself, I like Qigong. And I know my man Luke understands that Qigong is a very powerful
Racist.
and useful
You're not allowed to
technique
say that word.
practice.
We don't, civilized people like us, we don't say that word.
My partner over here hears just a little bit of Chinese and he already brings out things that he doesn't say and can't say that. He's about free speech in one segment and then now is telling us
No, I
that
want you to have the freedom to let these people know we don't say that word.
you can't, but they don't have the free speech to say the word. This is who you want leading you. This is who you want over here who tells you one thing and then goes and does the other. Is that who you want leading your undisclosed locations? Is it? Ask yourself. Ask yourself, is that the world you want your children to grow up in?
A fun world with good music.
No internet music? Do you know how useful Spotify has been? Do you know how amazing Spotify has been for all of us for the podcast?
Do y'all
we get
remember
more
vinyl?
engagement. More of you listen to the playlist than our podcast.
You tell me right now you would stop listening to music if you didn't have it? Bullshit.
No,
You'd go
I
get
would
the vinyl.
find it. I would find it. I have
And
some
you'd love
vinyls.
it. You'd appreciate it. People would stand outside for music again.
They do. I
The kids-
literally went to
If
work.
you cut off the internet when you go to a concert, it's not just this fucking shit right here. Fucking phones in the air, fucking little flashlights on, and everybody just staring. Nobody gigging. Nobody
Somebody's
getting into the
got
party.
to prove. Someone must see me here. Your vanity could be hurting music
All right.
in that way.
Our final comment on this question.
All right. What was the question?
We're not moving on to a new question. I thought it was a new question. We answered that.
You're the sucker.
Who's running this debate?
I don't know. I'm just here for the vibes. That little Mexican girl that cries all the time, Olivia Rodriguez. She had crowds lining up for
Yeah, I was just gonna mention. I went to work at fucking 9 a.m. There were people sitting in chairs lined up to just like be ready to be there.
Fake news.
I was there.
It's misinformation.
All right, next question we have from Mama DiLisio. How will you bring back common sense to the country who's obviously lost theirs?
Oh.
Steven, that one was actually pointed towards you, so we're gonna let you start on that one.
I went first last time, in fairness.
Oh, my
But
bad,
she
my bad.
asked
We'll
the
give
question
you-
to you.
Oh, did
She asked me a different question.
She has.
Oh, okay. Give it to me one more time.
Why are brown people?
Rewind.
I lost it. I lost it. Give me a second. Is that the one?
It's okay. It's okay. I believe it was a question, something about.
How will you bring back common sense to a country who's obviously lost theirs?
Well, Mama DiLisio, we can all agree that common sense isn't very common, is it? And how we're going to bring back common sense is we're going to be out here to make more sense. We're going to make more sense out there. And every time that we do, you're going to love it. You're going to benefit from it. You are going to enjoy the podcast more. There's going to be more ways to listen. There's going to be better beer on the show. There's going to be ways that you can connect with the beer so you can drink it with us. I am promising so much more. And the common sense that we need in this country is what I will bring in this undisclosed location and every other undisclosed location out there. I will bring the common sense.
All right. Just quick rebuttal. I would like to say that Mama DiLisio, thank you for your question to Steven, and I hope you are a vegetarian because that was a lot of word salad. What'd she ask me? She asked me a question too, right? What'd she say?
Is that your full rebuttal?
Yeah, that's my rebuttal.
All right, legally we're taking that as your full rebuttal.
Responding to that shit. What the fuck?
Justin, how will you stop the insanity that's happening with fake news and find out the truth?
Stop the insanity with fake news. First of all, I'm going to create an app. This app will filter any post or news article through it, and then will feed you its sources. And then you can decide from its sources what is true and what is not. But in those sources, this app will automatically let you know without the human person telling you it's fake or not. Will just feed you the sources for anything you hear rather than having to Google it and finding whatever's in your algorithm. It will just give you all of them that this particular thing comes from. And that will eliminate fake news. Also, cut the internet off.
I need to respond to that. Do you hear him? He wants to control what you're able to see.
God
He
bless
wants
America.
you to download an app so that you can give him your hard-earned data to his app and then control what you see. He tells you that it's the good stuff, it's fair, it's even, but who's to say? Him? Is he the judge of what is good and bad? Or his programmers? Is his AI?
No, it'd be you. You would get the sources and decide.
You would get the sources, he says. So now we're abusing their labor for your app. They do the work and you get the benefit of spreading your word and collecting your data.
American
Is
dream.
that it? Is that it? That's the solution he has for your undisclosed locations, folks, is taking your data for free and making you work for free.
God bless America. What else do we got?
This one from Mexican in the chat is a two-party question here. What are your top 3 Asian food restaurant recommendations, and which would you open in the United States of undisclosed locations?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll start with Justin.
Okay, so my top 3 Asian food restaurant recommendations would absolutely number 1, without a doubt, would be
Hold on. Before we go any further, we better talk about the beer before we get into dinner talk.
Okay, let's do the beer real quick.
Yes.
Do you have the title screen loaded up, sir? What about the theme song? Do we got that, or do you need 1 second to pull it ready?
I don't know about the song, but
Well,
come on,
pause. I got it.
Get the song ready, and I'm gonna respond to this question.
Oh, I forgot that we did the other one. Yeah, give me a second to pull it up.
All right. So, back to the question. I will say that top 3, easily number 1 would be Mac Fam. Just to disclose my bias here, I did design the logo for that particular restaurant, but I must say, outside of my bias, it is incredibly delicious. They make some of the most incredible American-inspired Chinese cuisine, or tradition-inspired American Chinese type cuisine. They got like they're doing new, fun, cool things all the time. I guess within the last couple months, when had their spam fried rice was off the hook.
Ooh.
In any case, number 2. New Dragon off 44th and Lowell.
Old Dragon's better.
Classic Chinese joint. And number 3 would be Hong Kong Station in Greenwood Village. Another just traditional Chinese joint. As far as like the Cantonese Chinese is concerned in America, I love them. And the one I'd put here though, I'd call my chef Ken over at Mac Fam right quick, and we get a little Mac Fam business in here, and I'm talking about get a couple bao buns.
I can respect the small business entrepreneurship.
Steven, I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to think about it while we have the beer corner song playing. Hopefully.
In the corner with the brew guy, Spencer breaks it down with the sip and the tip. Beer talks all around, from the tap to the can. Every style, every brand. He's the beer man in command. Raising glass with the fam. Guy Spencer's beer corner where the malt never stop. In the land of the hop, we gon' make it pop. Yo. From the tap to the can, every style, every brand. He's the beer man in command. Raising glass with the fam. Yo, raising glass with the fam. Yo. God Spencer's beer corner with them. Never malt, never stop. In the land of the hop.
What a ridiculous
We
song.
gon' make it pop. IPA or stout, no brew left out.
Fuck, I gotta think of a
Guys
third
got the
one.
know-how, gonna make you shout. Yo, pour it slow, feel the flow, get to know what you know. Every taste, every note from the king of the throne. The king of the
Eric, can you pull
throne.
the question back up so I can read the specifics? I want to make sure I get into the right category that our friend asked you.
Of course. Question one more time. Is two-party question here. What are your top 3 Asian food restaurant recommendations, and which would you open in the United States if undisclosed locations? You have 2 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to start with a dark horse, but y'all, this is a amazing place to go eat. You might not think of it as an Asian food restaurant, but it is. It's right here, a local business, one of the local businesses right here near the undisclosed location. I'm talking about Bon and Butter, the Vietnamese French-inspired bakery just down the street. Holy fuck, you gotta go there if you haven't been. Go in the morning, eat a fucking breakfast sandwich, eat one of the ube pastries. The fucking ube cream puff is just out of this world. Maybe get an egg coffee that tastes like French toast. Maybe get a banh mi for lunch over there. But holy buckets, it is some of the greatest, most interesting food I have found in Aurora, and I go there nearly every week. I love it. I love it so much. Now, number 2 on the list is going to go a different direction here. And this one is just more just some place I love to go because it's easy and unexpected but delicious. It's called Hero Sushi. Nice little unassuming.
The fuck did you just say?
Hero Sushi. kind of messed that word up. Low attacks from my opponent over here. But Hero Sushi, I had some of the best yellowtail I've ever had. Definitely in Colorado, for sure. It's not easy to get that yellowtail all the way out here in a nice little fresh sushi sashimi. Yeah. Well,
That's racist.
Oh, back to the low blows once again. And so that moves us on to one of my favorite restaurants in the world, has been since I was a teenager. Little place, unassuming place. Last time I went, you know what? They weren't here because they go back home to where they live. Not live, but I'm sure have family, but they're there like 2 months out of the year, it seems like now. But I'm talking about Star Thai. I love Star Thai. I've been going there for years. Amazing food. The same people make it, just a little family. You never had Thai food until you've had Thai food in a 3-table restaurant while the server, who's always your server, is sitting down on a little pillow playing fucking nylon string guitar and just like humming along in another language while you eat your fucking tom kha, pad thai, and maybe some vegetarian spring rolls if I'm there. His wife is out there cooking all that stuff in the back. Their son does all the deliveries. They got 2 locations now since they opened.
The longest 2 minutes of all time.
Thai. Holy buckets. Oh, I didn't know I was limited on that. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, you were going for a minute.
And if you couldn't tell already, if I could put Star Thai number 3 in the undisclosed locations, we would put 4, 5, and 6 in the other ones.
All right, I hear that.
The dogs are missing.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, we went outside to go check on them and they're gone.
We will be back shortly.
Sound like the dogs are missing. Let's see if this is a prank. Oh, that door didn't close like a prank. Oh. Is that a joke or are they really missing?
They're really gone.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit is right. Give me 3 minutes. Let me see if I can Caesar Milan these dogs back real quick.
We're gonna leave y'all with Spencer Beer Corner talk for a little bit. Have fun. We will be back shortly.
Potatoes right here.
All right, what about the big dog? That's one
That's
here.
Never mind.
Give me a shout out.
It sounds like they are back.
Bear says, oh, my mic on?
Yeah.
My mic on. Bear says the dogs are back. I don't know if that's true or not, but I would assume so because if I heard that I was coming to whoop some ass, I would run back home too. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm sure one of these children is getting a scolding right now for what it's worth. It's not very loud. White folk are really nice to their kids. Oh man, maybe not all of them, but they can be. They can be pretty nice to their kids. I would have been yelling by now, for what it's worth. Even if they weren't actually gone, I would have probably yelled about that. Probably not the best. For what it's worth, some of it might have been sarcastic in a sense that I was excited that they were back. Somebody must be getting a nice talking to. Is that the kind of candidate you want? A man who doesn't even raise his voice when the pit bull who about to eat everybody else's dog gets loose. Now, for what it's worth, Gus is very friendly. I don't know how he is with other dogs, but he lives with a little ass dog. Super friendly. But he's scary looking. And I tell you right now that if that pit bull was on the end of a leash of, you know what I'm saying? More melaninized motherfucker, he may not get the same grace that Steven gets here as he rows these dogs in.
And oh yeah, this is why I need to train my dogs. Yeah, I think we all training dogs is a weird thing though, because it's like you gotta imagine they came from wolves not too long ago. They've been dogs for about as long as we've had like, you know, mass cities in this type of way, or colonies in that kind of sense. So it's weird that we're like asking this thing that used to run across many acres of land, square miles of land, to be like, hey, be cool with this backyard, fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Stop barking.
Don't go out the open gate to the neighbor's house to bark at their dogs.
Yeah, we're all mad at the dog. Like,
We're not mad at the dogs. Nobody's
dog
mad
used
at
to-
anybody.
My dog
Nobody's mad at
used to be
anybody.
trained.
That was
Yeah, I
just a
know.
heated situation.
I told you.
It is all
Is that the kind of
perfectly
candidate you want?
fine.
When shit gets heated, he don't even.
You want a
become
candidate
alarmed?
that gets to action when things
almost-
get
I think he
heated,
was
just
crying.
like I did.
No, I think
you
he was
get to
crying.
action when things get heated and you get told that something is awry. You get up and you stand up for it and you take action.
I think he started crying. I think he spent his time out there crying. He didn't want y'all to see. He was wiping his eyes when he walked in here. You can't see it. It was just off camera. I mean, what are we gonna do? Y'all want
Eric,
to cry?
zoom in on
baby?
these eyes. Zoom in on these eyes.
Look how red they are.
There's not a tear to
Glossy.
be seen because I was out there solving problems. I was out there making it happen. I got the dogs back in with the help of teamwork. They were right there where they were supposed to be, telling the neighbor dogs to shut the fuck up. They were just out there doing that for us for the podcast. They were out there. That's what kind of people are around me, folks. People and dogs are out here
Y'all want a bunch of dogs
protecting
running
your
around?
undisclosed location.
Y'all want to put dog hair all over the undisclosed location?
What color are the neighbor's dogs?
What color are the neighbors'
What
dogs?
color
Why
are
would
they?
that matter?
What color
Why
are
would
they,
that matter?
Steven?
This moderator is also, I think it may be time to go back to some Facebook questions where we can actually get some good unbiased questions for the panel here and not loaded
I don't know if he
questions
knows
from
what
the
he said.
moderator.
I don't know what you just said. I don't even know if he knows what he just said.
I don't know if I know what I said. We have a follow-up question from a Milton Hitchcock. Congratulations. You were elected as president of the undisclosed location. What does your first day of office look like? Steven, we'll give you a second. Justin, you go first.
Okay. I want you guys to imagine House Party. Now, do you remember in House Party, in the climax of the movie, right before parents start showing up? The gig that was going on in House Party, the one where you're just like, man, Kid and Play became national icons based off of this party.
A great party.
That's what my first day in office would look like, and y'all would be Kid and Play.
It's convincing. It's convincing. That would be great for all of them. We would all love to be kids in play. But here's the thing. I'm going to give you more than a fantasy. What I'm going to do on my first day as president of the Undisclosed Locations is announce our first 2024 live show where you can come and see us do our thing live. Once again, you have not seen us live for over a year, and it is overdue. It is overdue because there hasn't been leadership in this undisclosed location to bring you the live shows that you want and deserve.
You'd be Kid and Play.
Fantasies. That's what he has to offer, folks. Fantasy.
All right. I think we are at the tail end of all of the questions that we had submitted, all of the ones that I had prepared. So I think it is time for final remarks from everyone. Steven, we'll let you go first on this one.
All right. I think I've made it clear through tonight that the undisclosed location and all the undisclosed locations out there deserve a leader that is going to bring them the things that they want, going to
give them the entertainment that they deserve, that they long for, that they know deep in their hearts that it is what they look forward to each month, every month, to come and see the LRVT show, to watch it while they do their laundry, while they do the things and come back and forth to work. This is what I'll bring you. And if you need any other indication, let me just hit you with a little bit of the higher the socks, the downer the foo. Go ahead and show him, Justin. Go ahead and show him, Justin. Get that on camera real quick. And Justin, go ahead and let's see who is the downer foo.
I refuse.
He refuses. And you might wonder why. You might
Because my feet
wonder
are on the ground.
why.
Where they'll stay for the duration of my presidency. I will not lift a foot for these bastards. Not a little one. You see, as the president of the United States of the undisclosed location, you will have many choices. You'll have many things you can say. And you will be free from the rhetoric, from the abomination that is Guy Spencer, a.k.a. Steven. What kind of fucking name is that anyways? Steven. My name's Justin. It means justice. And that's what I will bring. So God bless you all at home. God bless my opponent. And God bless these United States of the undisclosed location. Amen.
Hashtag problem solver.
All right.
Brenda.
That's because you found the dog.
It's good you found the dog. All right, so we have a special surprise. We're going to be doing a live poll for everybody to see who is the final outcome winner for this.
Okay. How do
Give
they
me
vote?
a second. I need to set this up real quick.
All right. Well, we'll take the last little second real quick to say, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
This song gigs, too, right? I want this to be the song in the scene in my movie where I'm running up the hill like it's my training.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like making it to the top of the hill in slow motion.
These are the live polls right now.
These are live polls. Whoa. Let's go.
Oh, we have a third runner?
Damn.
Son of a...
Steven, you would have had it, but I'm sorry, but these nuts just came in and...
These nuts.
This is election fraud. This is fraud. This is not real. This is
Stop
you're being
the
tricked.
steal.
Stop the steal. The LRVT United States of the undisclosed
Fucking right here.
locations.
I've had my glasses on this whole time. It was like a bright in here. I meant to take them off during my final talk, right before I said, for dramatic effect, and I got caught up in the moment. I started tearing, and I didn't want you guys to see weakness.
Yeah. Jeez Louise. I had no idea it was going to go like that, y'all. Guy Spencer showed up unexpectedly. And I don't know. Y'all don't know much about Guy Spencer. You can follow on the LRVT social medias to get to know Guy Spencer more. You'll see some beer reviews out there. You'll see.
Yeah, we are working on some shit.
Yeah. Well, Guy's been busy. Guy's been, obviously planning for this debate and been out there doing a lot of research on local beers and breweries and what they taste like, what the breweries and the beers taste like. you guys will see, but you got to get on our socials. If you're not following us on the YouTubes, on the Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, even, can we figure out how to get these videos on Spotify? I saw that the French resistant, not that French
Yeah,
report,
I don't know how either, but I did see that.
Free report. What is it called that you showed me?
Breaking points.
Breaking point. Sorry, I didn't
It's all
make
good,
those,
but
that,
yes,
that
they-
emblem right with the
They are on
letters.
Spotify.
But then I see the
Also
videos
on YouTube,
and I'm
yes,
like, how
sir.
those motherfuckers get the videos on there? Well, YouTube has the play. Well,
You got to upload
Either
them
way.
per episode. I'll figure that out when I figure that out.
On
that'll be
Spotify?
cool. That'll be
All
cool.
right, cool. Ryan Hackenberg, we're on the YouTubes right now. Holla at youtube.com/@LRVT podcast. Take a moment right now. If you are listening, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button on this video and subscribe. It does a gang. We appreciate that y'all be paying attention, but it'll like notify you if you're following, and then it also tells other people that this might be kind of cool. And you know, some of it's ridiculous, but it's pretty funny.
Tonight was probably an overflow of both of those things. I would hope.
Yeah.
I would hope that you saw a little bit of politicianisms, politicianing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the verb is for that besides being a piece of shit, but maybe
yeah,
you saw a
that's
little
it.
bit of that. Maybe you laughed a little bit. I hope you laughed a little bit. It was meant to make you laugh. And if we offended anybody, well, with
Then
any of
fuck
that,
you.
then yeah.
Oh,
good.
sorry.
You can, well, I was going right there anyway. Yeah, you picked it right up. I just didn't expect it. So I was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. But are we rapping or are we talking Venezuelan election
That's
first?
fine. How much time have we?
We're at 121 right now.
God damn, for real?
I think we got to do another
Let's go
after
nine-
hours.
Yeah,
Let's
that
go.
first little bit of Venezuela went a little bit long, but
Yeah.
All right. Should we wrap this one up then right now and then do an after hours?
yeah.
No. Let's just do it all together right now. Fuck it. We'll give it 9 minutes. How about that instead? We'll do it all in this episode, but it's 9 minutes. Let's talk.
I don't
real
need
quick,
much
Steve.
time. I don't need much
What
time.
do you got?
on it, 'cause
What do you got for us?
I don't know the whole. I can't remember all the fucking details, but I do want to say that I made these jumps that I was thinking about with Venezuela. I saw that post. I did one Google search to see who is reported on this shit locally. Aurora, Venezuela. I did one more search to just look up what's going on in Venezuela, which I think I just like typed in Venezuela and then went to the news tab and found the most recent articles about what's going on in Venezuela right now. And what had happened was Venezuela had an election for president, or I'm not sure if that's the word they use for their leader, but they had an election.
I think it's president.
And this has been a leader for a long time. Things aren't very good, obviously, because that's why all these people are here. Because there's something going on in Venezuela that's not good for people. They are fleeing that country because it's an unrest, at the very least. And this election happens where the opponent of the incumbent, the one that's been leading, was pretty set up to win. They like stopped this lady from running. I couldn't really figure out exactly in the one article I read on how they stopped her from running, but they're like, she was barred from running, but she's like badass, still has a big old voice and influence in the Venezuelan people and politics. And this other dude who they just run because they got to run somebody else against them, seems like a shoe-in win. And then the incumbent, the current president, comes in and is like, nah, we won. And then they don't release any evidence. No vote like count totals and things like that. And the opposition or the opponent there gets all of the data from what they say is all like the polling stations themselves, and just got the data, and they see that like they win by a few million votes, like handedly win, like 70-something% of the votes go to this candidate. But the Venezuelan current president of Venezuela says like, nah, we won, but has not submitted any proof of that. Then this erupts internationally with countries in South America, countries in Latin America, from Mexico to Brazil, all being like, hey, should we like honor this as an election? Should we honor this as like a real election? And a bunch of them were like, nah, they demanded that they release the information that shows that they won. And I have not seen an update to see if there has been a release of information, if there's been a takedown of any of this. But at the time that gathering happened, those were people who were not happy about this happening and letting their opinions be known, because their families live there still. Their families are out there, people that they know and love and are probably here sending money back to try and help them get out as well from this regime. And when they have a chance to do it democratically, they get robbed of that, or they feel like they're robbed of that. And even internationally, it seems like other countries believe that they have been robbed of that, even at the very least, because they have not released any evidence to show that they have indeed won, but they still stand on the
So the
front that they have
celebration
won.
was just that president came out with his proof?
Well, I think
that they,
it was that like the
other one
person
let
when
go.
they said like, hey, this person should win, but that other person, I don't know, have they taken power or like switched? I mean,
No,
this can happen quickly or slowly. I haven't seen any updates come through my feed, but I've been real busy, so I haven't looked either.
No, Maduro stolen power, and he asked for the Supreme Court essentially to like go through the votes and make sure that everything is cool. But in Venezuela, that's just kind of like, that's still your people. There isn't like a separation.
That's
of
like
power.
doing it in America or something.
Yeah, no, it's multiple
Stacked
parties.
court,
What?
stacked court.
Yeah, no, it's all his people, and he's like, yeah, let them figure it out. They're not biased, but it's all just rigged anyways. They're still trying to figure it out. There's a lot of civil unrest. Everybody like on both sides of the parties were like, yeah, go to the streets and protest, because the fuck.
Yeah, so it's real bad down there as it was before, and it doesn't seem like it's getting any better, and it doesn't seem like bullshit ass posts from fucking council people in Aurora are doing anything to fucking help this situation that is truly the root of the problem. And like seeing her post like, oh, they're celebrating the win. It's fucking disgusting, whoever you were that said that. It's celebrating in quotes. I won't even say the word that I'm thinking, but I think you all know the word I'm thinking, because unacceptable fucking behavior to...
Was that it? I'm a freedom of speech guy.
Bingo. Danielle Jurinsky, Aurora City Council
Where's
at large.
that fucking last name from?
Put a fucking thumbs up in the chat. Put an F in the chat. Indeed. Put an F in the chat if you think I should run for her fucking position next time it's up.
Yeah, F the chat right now, boy.
Put it in there.
Fucking F
Put
the
it
chat
in there.
right now. Fuck yeah, fuck that stupid cunt.
See, that's the crazy part is in modern day internet, F's in chat is respect. So
Oh, so
For
what's
me.
not? Oh, respect for this fool. Yeah,
For me saying I'm going to take the
F,
position.
F for Steven. F for
That's right.
Steven.
That's what I'm asking for.
F's in chat for
F's for
Justin.
Steven. But also,
That's right.
fuck that bitch.
'Cause I was referring to what he said. Or he was implying.
I wasn't. I was talking shit.
I'm up on this shit. Danielle, I hope you're listening. I hope that LRVT is in your feed.
Yeah.
And I hope
This
you
Not
hear...
F this chat. I love this chat. Beto, chill.
Spoke said, I hired 4 of those fuckers to do some yard work on my house, see?
Oh, man. I was just, you see that shit. It wasn't that hard to get to a conclusion of a little bit of truth. And maybe it's not like every bit of the truth of what's going on, but I think that lady lied in that post saying like celebrate, like maybe not lied, but just made a big jump in terms of why those people were around there. But again, like you mentioned, that post wasn't about that. It wasn't about their reasons or their humanity or anything like that. No. That shit was about instilling fear around immigration to drive fucking votes to the Republican Party, to Donald Trump. That's what that post was about. If you weren't clear earlier on what we were talking about, that's what that post was about. And you could tell because at the end, when I didn't read that part, but they just basically like dunk into like being like, you need to vote for Trump so that this won't happen anymore. And there's no evidence, I think, that has been produced really that will change too much without a lot of carnage.
He did the opposite. Part of the big reason that Venezuela has like all of this is definitely U.S. it being part of it, and like the sanctions aren't helping. The CIA is like doing some stuff to like build like relationships out there too.
They fucking love doing stuff.
Yeah. So it's like it's not.
They do be doing stuff.
Yeah, it's just complaining about your own people. Like Donald Trump was a big fact, part of the reason that there's so many Venezuelan immigrants. Right
Yeah, but I mean, here I go being that goofball again. But fuck Kamala Harris. That's the op. And
Kamala's a cop. We know how we feel, or at least how Steven feels, and Guy feels about cops.
And Justin doesn't feel like that towards the policemen themselves. I'm way more. I roll with some of these cats. They're really dope dudes, and they don't have these weirdo ideologies. I know that there's some that do, and I definitely feel like the police could use some reform. Let's call it that. But in any case, she was the prosecutor, and she was responsible for like thousands of people being in jail with falsified evidence and like knowingly of disregarding evidence that, you know, and shit. Like she was literally she wasn't like, you know, when you're like, when you're mad because of the ticket you got and you're like, fuck the judge. She was like, no, that's the judge that like is selling the kids to the jails. That's the one, and she was the prosecutor version of that, and that's it. It's disgusting, and it's all public knowledge. Like they don't talk about it that way, but when you look at, if you read the story yourself, you know, you read the public records yourself, it's a lot more like, oh yeah, this lady was grimy and she did whatever she had to do to politically make strides, and she still does today. That's what she, and so anything she says she stands for is not real. It's based entirely on what people wanna hear. She's definitely feeling herself right now. But you know, I'm like, man,
I'm gonna be the fucking president.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Democrats did give themselves a leg up with bringing her up there, and they haven't won my vote though, for sure. The Democrats still be putting people up there that are just tools.
Bernie said Bernie was like, how come you don't focus on the corporate money and all the same shit he's been saying for 40 years? And they turned around and they called Bernie sexist for it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man,
how dare you challenge the first black woman president?
This is why nobody takes you motherfuckers seriously, and this is why you don't get my vote, because you're ridiculous. Yeah. So that's what I got on that. Donald Trump got shot.
Yeah, that happened between last and now.
Yeah.
Not my president. Not
your president that didn't get shot, or not your president that got shot? Oh, there we go. You'll never know.
Yeah, Donald Trump got shot, which is the first assassination attempt since the 80s with Ronald Reagan.
Yep.
A huge failure of the
security apparatus of the American government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was pretty
the Secret Service
disappointing. And
but I mean, and the thing is their job is to protect, you know, not just like, it's like, oh yeah, what, like, you can act like this is no big deal, right? Because you don't like Donald Trump or whatever. And I made the joke immediately, like they had one fucking chance, you know? You had one fucking job to do. Like I had one of those. I made one of those jokes immediately, which is a fucked up to talk about a person, but fuck that guy. And I feel both empathetic to the idea that I don't like talking, wishing death upon people, but also fuck that guy, and that joke doesn't bother me. So, and in that sense, real quick, just to put that on the table, somebody did die there, and that sucks, right? Mm-hmm. That's just a
did
dude.
You see what Trump did?
No, hold on. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, look how quickly we like forget this guy existed, right? And this dude is just a dude who went to see, whether you agree with him or not, a political figure in public speak. Like, there should be like the safety of that is not just about Donald Trump. It's also about us as people, because that guy, whether he's on a different political team of you or not, he's part of the populace. He is us. We're all the same. Now, if I go see, you know, I've seen Bernie talk. I've seen Obama talk. I've seen Cornel West talk. You know, I've been to cool little talks like these things. And what, like, how whack would it be to die at one?
Yeah.
Because I, in that moment,
How awkward to be to bring your
interested what this person
family.
has to say. Like, I went to see Obama, and I didn't even vote for Obama then. I voted for Obama the second time, but not the first time. And the second time, it was way more of like, okay,
Good job.
good job, whatever. Like, you're not the worst. He wasn't the
mailed that
best.
one in.
He wasn't the best, but I
You mailed
definitely
that
wouldn't
one
vote for him the first time either. I voted for Ralph Nader. And fucking, in any case, I went and see this dude talk. Like, I don't like him now. I wouldn't vote for Obama again. I wouldn't vote for Michelle Obama. And I think they're part of the same apparatus as any of that the greed begets. Like, this is what it creates. It creates these types of people. And for whatever it is, that's how I feel about it. And I wouldn't vote for these motherfuckers. But in any case, I don't want to die going to watch this fool talk.
To just try and decide like to play their game.
I
Like
would
we're
go- if
playing
some-
your game.
If somebody was like, yo, I'm going to go see Donald Trump talk and it's free, whatever, this and that, I've got like the seats in the back. Or, do you want to go? I'll go. And I don't care if I'm on TV and people are like, oh, you're supporting Trump. This fool is possibly a future president of the United States again. Like, I want to know what the fuck this motherfucker got to say. And whether, especially if it's bullshit. I want to know the type of bullshit
We
this
all
fool's
like
saying.
to watch shows that are bad because they're bad.
And I don't need to hear from somebody else the bullshit and then you twist it on me and make it this or that on your own agenda. I just want to know the bullshit on my own. And so it would be whack to die at a thing like that, you know? And so like that's the biggest thing is it's like it's a safety for us. And you know, Ryan, shout out my boy Ryan Hackenberg. He already brought up too that he in the chat earlier. I don't see it now, but I saw it in the chat earlier about like the 38 or 39 presidential candidates in Mexico that were assassinated in their last election. Like almost 40 people, bud,
Holy shit.
were assassinated for running. Like, dude, like this is. You know, do y'all want to be that? Because by applauding and and encouraging assassination, just even if I don't agree with them either, I'm just saying by encouraging that's what you're asking for, and that's wild. And for what it's worth, the candidates, as proven, aren't the only ones, if any, that die. You know what I'm saying? It's the motherfuckers that are around you in that time, and you know. I could be the guy 5 feet from him telling him, you're fucking whack. And I don't get shot in the face because some other dude don't like him and has whack aim.
Whack game.
Oh, yeah.
But I would at the RNC, Trump brought up the man who died. He was a firefighter, and he brought up his like firefighter jacket and helmet, had it on a little mannequin off to the side. And Eric, if you could real quick pull up that picture of Trump hugging a flag. And Trump went up to this thing. He was like doing his speech, talking about it. He had a whole thing. If you didn't watch the RNC speech, it's 90 minutes of like pretty incredible like speech giving in terms of just like, whoa, what the fuck am I watching? This like mix of reading a teleprompter versus going off on the hinge. And I thought there were some pretty funny parts myself. But at one point when he's talking about the firefighter that died, he goes over to that little mannequin wearing all his clothing of the firefighter and like puckers up just like he does on that flag and gives his helmet a nice little kiss.
I'm trying to find
like,
the
can you
picture
show
from
that
this
whole-
specific RNC, and apparently he hugs flags so often that I can't find the specific one here.
Well, putting kisses. He
so it's
kisses
that one right
the
there.
firefighter. He didn't do the hug the Trump. This is an example of what he did
He does it all
years
the
ago.
time.
I guess all the time.
Yeah,
he
this is
hugs
2019.
flags.
That man loves
He loves America, bud.
Dude, so you know what's
Watch him
Damn.
kiss.
You know what's
Show us a picture of him kissing the firefighter.
This is how you know this is
uniform.
that bullshit ass fucking some TV script. Because in the same way, and it's not really a TV script, it's just fucking wild. Listen to this. Because
Feels like one though.
how ridiculous is this dude hugging a flag, and how many just like even like that
We
ridiculous
love flags, folks. These are the best flags that
It's
we've
the
ever
best
had.
flags.
We've had these flags that are the best forever, and we will always have these flags. Love them. I love flags. I love them.
Well, so like how many ridiculous photos are there of this dude though doing weird stuff, being ridiculous,
Don't say weird. That's a liberal thing now. You can't call them weird.
Hey, I've been saying that for a long time. Fuck
I
these
know.
guys. Fuck
Every
the left.
thing I see that,
Fuck
I was
the
like,
left.
damn, we've been calling these idiots weird for years.
The dude who coined that is up for vice president, and he would be somebody with somebody else. I'd vote for that guy. And I forget his name even. But I read a little bit about his resume, and I'm like, oh, I'm not mad at this guy at all. He's like a old science teacher or something, and then ran for councilman, and then moved up that way. He's a lot more normal of a dude.
Gives
when he
me
talks, he's a lot
Elizabeth
more normal.
Warren vibes, though. I'm like, ew,
Hey.
liberal.
Whatever it is. In any case, though, I will also say at the same time, reluctantly, right? But I cannot deny the truth that Donald Trump has one of the most iconic photos of all time.
The photographer who took that photo should be the one getting the big ups for that, because holy fuck,
Hey.
you're right. It's amazing, that New York Times photo.
Nah, but
with
for
the
what,
bullet,
but for what
like,
it's worth, he was the one being shot at. And again, we don't like him. But if you're getting shot at and you get hit in the ear, and just even the wherewithal to know in that moment what to do even first, and obviously to be the camera person who runs around to grab the shot. But still, he only had his fist in the air for so long, and he had
you're
that
talking
shot.
about that one. I thought you were talking about the one with the fucking bullet whizzing past his head.
No, I'm talking.
Where
I'm
you
talking
can
about
see
Trump.
the, like,
I'm
sound
talking about
waves
Trump.
or
I'm talking
airwaves,
about
like-
in history books in 100 years, we'll have a picture of Trump.
Oh, yeah.
with his
That
fist
one.
up, and the American flag behind it, and blood flowing down his face.
For
and
sure.
I don't like this dude, but fuck, is that a badass, iconic fucking photo?
Yeah.
And that in today's bullshit ass internet culture, that's gonna be hard to fucking beat.
Well, and in 50 years, they're going to be like, this is what the Republican Party used to stand for. And it won't be anything they actually stood for, but they're just going to use that picture for whatever they want that to be in 50 years, right?
yeah.
That's all they're going to do. But that photo will not die. That photo will never die. You know, that is a photo akin to like the fucking Vietnam photo.
Oh yeah, the fucking dude who got burned alive. Now, oh no, you're talking about the gun in the face one. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the monk who lit himself on fire, which is also this. That's what I'm saying. That photo right there is in that.
Emulsion, emulated, not
When
lit
we're talking
himself on
about
fire,
photos-
but emulated.
When
I
we're talking
believe
about
is the
famous
word.
photos, think about those, right? Like the fucking the monk who lit himself on fire in protest of Vietnam. The Vietnam photo. Of the dude holding the gun against the fucking lady's head who's holding that baby or whatever. The one where the other lady or dude is standing in front of that tank. Fucking Muhammad Ali standing in the middle of the fucking in the middle of the ring. Like these photos, right?
Yeah.
How iconic they've become in nature. A lot of times because they're badass. Like, and badass doesn't always have to be agreed. I don't agree with Donald Trump. I don't like this motherfucker. I was the first motherfucker at my family reunion when we found this shit out to make the joke that they missed. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not sorry about the joke.
You don't need to apologize for it, in my opinion.
I'm not. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not
He's
sorry about the
lived a
joke.
fucking fine
But
life. We've heard of
I
his
won't-
disgusting life.
This is how you know I'm balanced. This is how you know I'm balanced, because I will not absolutely deny that is one of the most badass fucking photos I've ever seen.
How could you?
You know what I'm saying?
How could you? And just on a
Like,
basis
whew.
of art. Like,
And
it's
in
fucking
this-
gorgeous and, like,
In this
incredible.
climate, bro, that weighs a lot.
A picture, you'd think, huh?
That weighs a lot, isn't that wild? Any last final wrap ups you got over there, Steven?
Well, y'all saw the first debate tonight. The results, we don't know that we can trust.
The 9/11 flag raise photo, absolutely, Beto. Keep going.
Yes. And I just want y'all to remember, this was just for fun. This was, the podcast's always going to be all of us running this shit. And I appreciate you guys playing along with us and submitting questions earlier.
Hell yeah.
Hitting the questions in the chat. Y'all, if you can, follow, do all that kind of shit to just help this shit grow. Y'all know it enough.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Now, subscribe, hit those buttons that, they won't bug you. Turn your notifications off. Even just subscribe, so
Even
that
if you prefer
it's easy to
Facebook.
find. If it just makes it easier to find, and listen to the playlist. There's always good music coming up. I told y'all earlier,
yeah.
Eric has the best song on the playlist this year, I think, so far, and I'm looking to beat that. I'm looking to beat that. In the
If Eric doesn't put that Big Dogs joint on there though, I'm going to. From what I know, it went viral this week, but Eric sent that shit to us like 3 weeks ago, and I was, whoo. What a fucking what a
that Indian
banger.
dude?
Hell yeah,
with
what
the
a banger.
motorcycles in the fucking cage of death.
Humankind.
Yeah, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah,
Boy,
so if that
is
sounds
hard.
interesting to you, you check out the fucking playlist and go look up the video for Eric's song. You can't put that on the playlist, and Eric, you have to put it on the playlist.
Well,
now.
if Eric doesn't, then
He
I'm
has
going
to.
to. So what all I'm telling
get
you is
two
that it's going to be
choices
on
this
there.
week, Eric.
All I'm saying is it's going to be on there. Know what I'm talking about?
And then look up the video. You go like the playlist, so you get that. We're gonna be putting other stuff on the Spotify's and all this stuff. And hey, do me a favor. If this was fun and you enjoyed it, tell a friend. Tell somebody. Kick them the link. And you can't tell them a friend like, oh, they're really awesome. They'll believe it. They'll hear it. But you got to kick them a link when we go live. When you see the fucking notification because you're subscribed, kick the link to your bestie. Kick the link to your significant other, whoever it is that you do laundry with or whatever you call that.
I know that we're a niche, but for anybody that does pay attention to us, I know you know one other motherfucker who might find this shit funny too, or interesting, or want to argue with us. Find us. Oh, please send me some fools who find us wrong. I want to argue with somebody. That shit used to be fun.
Put some.
Me and
plant the
Steven
chat for us. Plant the chat.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
give
Me and Steven used to argue way more, and now I feel like we mostly agree on all the topics. So we end up sitting here, even when we disagree. It's like I'm trying to play devil's advocate, and I'm like,
yeah,
and I'm and then we're doing mock debates of bullshit, which is actually pretty fun. I appreciate that shit. Thanks, Eric, for that fucking idea. But yeah, anyways, tell some motherfuckers we got this shit going. Anything else? You got anything, Eric? And that's been the Lone Ranger vs. Tonto. I've been this motherfucker. We out.
Hit that Dateline music, Eric.